Check engine lights on. Code P0171. More likely your culprit. You hear that leak? So this is everything you should need. Got this valve cover, doing the spark plugs, so I got spark plugs, brake cleaner, manual, some torque wrenches, some ratchets, extensions, you need some RTV, some torque sockets, spark plug socket, a 10 mil socket, so disconnect the battery. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the battery, which is over here. Disconnect the negative just by loosening up the clamp. Set it to the side. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect it, and there's a clip right here. I like to use a little screw flathead. Disconnect it, move it out of the way. These right here, Torx 30, onto your torque socket. Loosen these up. And be very careful when pulling your ignition coil assembly out. There's rubber hoses down there, and if you're not careful, this one came out fairly clean. These are those hoses I'm talking about. Your next step is going to be to remove the wiring harness. Flip away from the valve cover, it'll slide right up. You got harness over here, some over here. That one's moved. Looks like everything's out of the way. Next I'm going to pull the oil fill cap off. And dipstick. Next I'm going to remove all of these valve cover bolts. Break them loose, and they won't come all the way out. See, like that right there. They're attached to the valve cover, so they won't come all the way out. Pops right out. The new valve cover, and at least on 1.4 liter engines, apply a bead of RTV sealant to where the timing chain and the cylinder head meet, which is right here. You'll see it when you take it off. There's already kind of apply a small bead right there. Don't need much. Start working it in from the back. This way it's easier to take it off that way. It's because you got all this wiring harness in the way. Everything finger tighted. You're gonna want to torque everything down, and there is a torque pattern which helps seat it correctly. The torque spec isn't much at all, but I wouldn't guess it. It's 71 inch-pounds, and I have one of these dial torque torque wrenches, and it caps out at 80. I'm using an extension on it, so I'm just going to take them all to 80. The book says 71 inch-pounds, and I'm going to go ahead and follow the torque sequence. So it starts right here. This could take a while, but at least you know you're doing it correctly. Down, I like to go ahead and go all the way around it and just make sure everything is still to the torque specs. Next thing you can go ahead and do is clip in your wiring harness, and this should just push straight down and clip in. So there's another clip here, but I took out the old valve cover, and it should just slide right in. So next I'm going to be doing the spark plugs, and I really don't want any dirt or debris to fall in there while I'm working, and I'm going to just spray out this entire area with compressed air. Spark plug socket. I'm going to go counterclockwise. It'll be a little bit tighter once you break them free. The nice thing about using a spark plug socket is it has a grommet in there that attaches to the spark plug, rather than using just a deep well. It'll come out, it'll pull it out with it. Go ahead and put this in. I'm not going to use the ratchet on it, I'm just going to spin it in. So I got all the spark plugs hand tight in there, and I'm going to go ahead and torque them down. I got my torque wrench set, and again I'm accounting for the extension on it, so I have it set a little bit higher than 218. Again, hand tighten these. I wouldn't do anything crazy. You don't want to strip them. want them snug. Let's go back. I'm going to reinstall cannon plug to broke the clip. Next I'm going to reinstall the battery cable. My 10 mil. There it is. Grab the cable, the tug test, and it's tight. So I just wanted to confirm that my suspicion that the PCV valve was the problem, so I went ahead and took a flathead and broke off this cap. I took it off, and when I took it off, you can see that it is obviously ripped, and that was allowing air to be sucked in to set off that code. So if you have the P0171 code and you have a Chevy CRUZE, this is more than likely your culprit.